Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack and today I am driving a 2008 Mercury Milan. Up front is a 2.3 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Mercury Milan because I find these cars interesting. No one really keeps these cars or has preserved Mercury Milans or really any late model Mercurys, so I always like filming them just for prosperity's sake. But the second reason is the fact that I don't actually like Mercury products from this era. I put out a Mercury Montego video not too long ago and caught a lot of flack for how much I disliked that car. So today we're hopping into the Milan and giving Mercury maybe a redeeming chance, or probably just another opportunity to fall flat on its face. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 2.3 liter inline 4. Well, right off the bat, it's already not great. Now, there was the V6 offered, a 3 liter Duratec V6, or the 2.3 liter Duratec inline 4. Now, I always get this mixed up, but I think I have it down now. The Duratec name was from Ford slapped onto two different engines. This 2.3 liter is a Mazda designed engine, while the 3 liter V6 was actually a Porsche designed engine that Ford bought the rights to in the 90s when Porsche needed money. So this is the Mazda designed engine, which means it'll actually be reliable, which is nice. Although this car needed an engine replacement only a couple thousand miles ago, so maybe not reliable. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed automatic. Now, up until 2010, the 4-cylinder got a 5-speed and the 6-cylinder got a 6-speed. However, they actually switched that in 2010 to where the 4-cylinder would also get the 6-speed. So this is the 5-speed. It's the least desirable transmission. It's doing the job. It's fine, but I wouldn't say I'm happy with it. Last but not least, the Mercury Milan is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Milan? It's fine. It doesn't corner well. It kind of has sloppy steering. The acceleration is poor with the 4-cylinder. It's a car. It operates as an automobile, and it was designed to do that, so I guess I could give it props in that regard, but in all other regards, not so much. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer. In the center is the fuel and coolant temperature, and off to the right is the speedometer. On the steering wheel, we do have options for our cruise control, as well as off to the right, we have volume, skip track, and media. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight switch, gauge dimmer switch, and trunk release. And moving on to the door, we have lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a pretty big storage cubby. I've always liked Ford in this era doing this. I think it's actually pretty helpful. We get 2 climate vents, our info setup and reset buttons, along with our hazard switch, and a very, very nice analog clock here in the Milan. Standard Ford radio that was put in every chassis from this era, from the Freestyle to the Taurus to the 500 to the Montego. It all got this. And down below, we do have our climate controls with AC. Fan speed off to the left, temperature in the center, where to send it off to the right. 12-volt outlet down below, and the shifter. The shifter is a Ford parts bin shifter. Nothing special there, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. And then we have cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test, but unlike its Montego older brother, the Mercury Milan from 2008 fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we get a dual opening center console and the seats. The seats are cloth. This is going to tie into my final thoughts. Don't love that they're cloth. Would have liked to have seen leather. Would have been more presentable. And these are the kind of cloth that kind of sticks to your t-shirt, which I don't really like, but they are warm and cozy, and as the weather is turning here in Chicago, I like to see that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a backseat review. All right, we're in the back of the Mercury Milan, and a couple of things to note. First of all, the cloth carries on back here. We do have 2 cup holders in the center console, but no rear climate vents. Would have liked to have seen that, but in this vehicle segment, it's not always the status quo. Head, if I sit up straight, it's barely touching the roof, although I do have this little cutout in the roof for that, which is nice, but doesn't help out all that much. We do have lights, as you saw, just turned off, but overall, very bland, very basic back seat that isn't going to shock anyone. Let's see if there's anything cool or interesting in the trunk. Spoiler alert, there's not. But let's go look at it. Okay, you know what? I take that back. There actually is one thing interesting, and that is this little key slot was commonly found on like police interceptors or utility style vehicles, fleet vehicles, things like that. Would not expect that on the back of a Milan, and I think it looks terrible. Double click here for the rear trunk, does pop it, and you bring it up the rest of the way. Here's the inside of the trunk of a Mercury Milan, if you've ever been curious, but I would have to imagine that not many people have wondered what a trunk of a Milan looks like, but we do have pull handles to lower the second row of seats. So I guess that's cool, but I hope that makes you happy. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is bland, it's boring, and I don't even want to consider it macaroni styling because I don't get any warm sense of nostalgia while looking at it. I just think, wow, that's a boring styled automobile, and it is. So, you know, there's that. It really is a Ford Fusion that they added a couple lines to. This whole car really feels like a Friday afternoon after lunch type scenario. They needed a new car and they just said, blah, here. And the styling definitely provokes that, but let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Mercury Milan? Well, here's the thing. Today, buying one on the secondhand market, this is a fine car. Like, nothing jumps out at me and says, this is awful, terrible, horrible. If you buy one, you're a moron, or this, or that, or the other. No, I'm not saying that. And I got a lot of comments on the Mercury Montego video of people saying, I had a Montego and I loved it. And whatever I say is in no way, shape, or form designed to invalidate your feelings about your Mercury ownership. If you owned a Mercury Milan and you loved it or love it currently, I am happy for you. The issue I have with the Milan is that it just feels lazy on Ford's end. They go out of their way to name it something, to give it its own press releases and its own this, that, and the other. They say, hey, look at our brand new car. And then you go, oh, awesome. But when you look at it, you go, oh, that's just a Ford Fusion. And Mercury went, no, this isn't a Ford Fusion. That's blasphemy. No, this is a Mercury Milan, the fashion capital of the world. But in reality, this is a Fusion. That's the part that I don't like. It feels like Ford was trying to dupe us with this, saying, hey, these dumb idiots will buy anything we sell them. And up to this point, it was true. But 2008, the financial crisis hit here in America, and then people wouldn't buy anything. And as a subsequent of the financial crisis, Mercury ceased to be a company that used to have bespoke vehicles. We didn't get a Ford version of the Mercury Capri. The Mercury Cougars were fantastic. They were great cars, and they had their own identity. The Milan doesn't. It's like if I did my next video and I said, hi, my name's John, and I wore glasses and a mustache. Everyone would say, no, that's still Zack. Obviously, it's Zack. Now, the content wouldn't change. I would still review cars in the same way, and you guys would still enjoy it if you enjoy my content, or hate it if you hate my content. So at its core, it's not a bad car. It's the marketing. It's the wool pulling. It's the intentional misleading from the company. That's what I have an issue with. So if you have a Mercury Milan and you love it, awesome. That's great. But I just don't. And it's okay to have differing opinions. And that's the one that I'll die on here for the Mercury Milan. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to John for the Milan. John has been absolutely awesome to work with. I have reviewed several of his cars here today. This is just the flavor of the moment. He owns wonderful cars. This just ain't one. And I appreciate him very, very much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.